We haven't won an Olympic gold medal in boxing since 2016. And that was your girl. That was me. I don't mean to.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
So if the U.S. Olympic Committee want to let me know if I could come back and represent us again, defend my 2 Olympic gold medals, hey, I'll bust my butt to get down to 165 and I'll show you how to win a gold medal again. Again. In L.A.
Oh, what's your story? Don't you dare be sour. Clap for Stephanie and feel the power.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our next guest. Claressa Shields was born and raised in Flint, Michigan. She is the first female boxer from America to win Olympic gold, the only person, male or female, to win back-to-back Olympic gold medals in boxing for the U.S., and the only boxer in history, male or female, to become undisputed champion in 3 weight classes in the 4-belt era. With a perfect 17-0 professional record, she currently holds the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO heavyweight titles. She not only fights for herself, but fights for equal pay, promotion opportunities, and fight conditions for women. Welcome to the podcast, The GWOAT, Claressa Shields. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. We can make this finally happen.
Yes, we tried.
I be busy. You be busy.
We tried a bunch of times, but here we are.
Yes.
Yes. And gosh, there's so much to talk about. You have a movie that's out about your life.
Yes.
There was a documentary as well, I believe, prior to that. You have a big fight coming up in January.
Yes.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
But I think I'd love to start with, sort of the beginning and what inspired you to become a boxer in particular. Like how this is, especially at that time, an unusual field for women, or at least one that not many women knew they could be a part of.
Right.
How was boxing what you gravitated towards? Because I believe you said in a quote, boxing chose you.
Yeah, well, I can say that I started off in sports when I was younger. I ran track. I played basketball. I played volleyball. What's the baseball thing called? Softball. I played all these sports. And I even ran track. And I was pretty good at track. And I was decent at basketball. Soccer was boring, but I still did it.
Better with your hands.
Yeah. But then volleyball too, it's just all these team sports. And I just was like, I want to do something else. So when I met my dad when I was 9, after he got out of prison, he told me if he would have stuck to what he was passionate about, he would never went to prison. And I was always a what, why, who type of kid. I was asking questions. And I said, well, what were you passionate about? He said, boxing. So at the time when I asked, what were you passionate about? Whatever my dad said, I was going to try to be. So when he said boxing, I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, they used to call him Cannonball. He did underground street fighting. He made $50,000 for a purse before. Like, my dad can really fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So when he said boxing, I was like, I want to box to make my dad happy. It wasn't something that I just thought that I was just good at. I knew I could fight a little bit. I had beat a few girls up, a few guys up, but...
As one does.
But we talking about like little elementary school fights.
Sure.
I ain't know nothing about boxing. And then I went out to the boxing gym because I had a friend that boxed named Eddie. And I went out to the boxing gym and I started training. And I just fell in love with the sport. And then after a week, the boxing coach was like, hey, you got to have one of your parents come and sign you up. So, of course, I'm like, bingo, I'm asking my dad.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, hey, Dad, can you come sign me up for boxing? It's at Burston Fieldhouse. And he was like, no. I was like, what? And he was like, no, girls don't box. And you're too pretty to box. This is what my dad was telling me when I was 11 years old. And I was like, the whole girls don't box thing just threw me off. Because I was like, if you're going to tell me that I can't do something, don't let it be because I have a vagina.
Right?
Like let's be real. Give me a different reason.
That's right.
If we're gonna say I can't box, don't let it be because I'm a girl.
Right.
You know, I was like, if you would have said, oh, you know, I don't want you to get hurt, and he just like, you're a girl and you're too pretty. And at the age of 11, I wasn't as confident as I am now.
Sure.
So I'm like, I ain't even all that cute. So it don't even matter if I get punched in the face or not at the age of 11. So I'm telling my dad, like, no, I really want you to sign me up. And he said no. And that was the first time my dad ever said no to me about anything. So I didn't talk to my dad for about 2 days. He'd come pick me up from school. I'd be like, I'm walking home. I only live 2 blocks from the school. I'm like, yeah, I'm walking home, Dad. Get out of here. And I think after the second day of doing that, he was like, get in the car. And I got in the car and we drove to his house. Him, his wife, kids, my younger sister, Brianna, she was there. And we had like a mini intervention and everybody voted on if I should box or not.
Really?
My dad voted no. Everybody else voted yes.
Wow.
So that was my first actual win when it like comes to boxing, was them voting for me to box and going against what my dad said.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But my dad loved that I box.
Yeah.
He loves it. I think my third amateur fight, which I had 78 of those fights, my third amateur fight my dad came to and he was crying after I won.
Wow.
And I was like, what are you crying for? He just like, you're just the best goddamn boxer I've ever seen.
Oh, he is so proud
I feel
of
like you should have voted yes.
So
from
proud.
the beginning.
Were there other family decisions made like that?
No, it was just that one.
just that one.
Just that one. I mean, listen, I moved out from my mom when I was about 13, 14. I was staying with my boxing coach for a year. I lived with a family friend from the gym, Miss Paula. I lived with her for about a few months. I was kind of jumping all over. I lived with my auntie until about a year before the Olympics. My coach was like, listen, you're going to stay with me until the Olympics is over. You know, we need to have you have a steady.
And this is Jason Crutchfield?
Jason Crutchfield.
Jason Crutchfield.
He like, listen, you're going to stay with me. I think I was about 15. He said, you're going to stay with me. And once the Olympics is over, you can move wherever you want to move to. But we need some stability. So I stayed with my coach. Mama Mickey cooked for me every day, which I wasn't used to.
Right.
I wasn't used to. But coach was like, if you're going to be training 3 times a day, running all these miles, getting ready for the Olympics, you got to stay healthy. You got to stay hydrated. You got to eat. You got to run. You got to be focused. So
Yeah.
I just locked in with Jason and we went to the Olympics
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And you won.
twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That must feel so good.
No, it does. You know, I didn't have a lot of dreams like, you know, coming up. Like my first dream was to be like Aaliyah. I wanted to be a singer.
Oh, yeah?
Rock the boat. Okay. I wanted to be like Aaliyah. And then my second dream was to be a mom. I had this crazy dream to have 10 kids by the age of 21.
Wow.
No, by the age of 25, which was really,
10 kids, a lot of kids.
I don't know why I wanted that or why that was a good idea to even think that. But I was
That's
very
what you
vocal
wanted.
about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dumb, but I'm happy I chose boxing instead of to start having kids at a very young age. No, so when I started, I didn't have many dreams. So then we get to the Olympics. We found out about the Olympics when I was 13. It was the first time that women were being included in the Olympics in women's boxing.
Wow.
So I found out about that when I was 13. And we always was like, 2012, you might be old enough or you might be too young. You might miss it. But it was like in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, God wouldn't let me miss it. I'm the best.
Yeah.
You know,
God gave you
and
these gifts for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I say boxing chose me because I've always been really good at it. I've always fought against girls who were older, bigger, stronger, more experienced, and I found a way to beat them.
When you fought men too, right? And when you were training.
Sparring.
Yeah.
Yeah, training.
And I read something, I'm not sure if it's true, but you were 11 and your dad was at the gym and you knocked some guy out?
No, I was 14.
Okay.
14 was the first time my coach put me inside the ring with a grown man, like a man that was over 18.
Okay.
Before then, I was sparring like little boys my age, maybe a year older, 2 years older. But when I turned 14, I was in there with guys 18, 21, 25. And those guys were very strong, very
And they
very
didn't hold
tough.
back, right?
No, ain't nobody holding back in Flint, Michigan, because I get to walk around and say that I beat you up.
Right, right.
And
it's about creed in essence, or like, you know.
it's more just, Flint is just a real raw city.
Yeah.
Either you got it or you don't. You know, so when I was in the gym, you know, sparring and fighting, if a guy got off on me, that was like bragging rights. He can brag for the week because I was beating everybody up.
Right.
So if a guy beat me up, he'd brag about it for at least 3 weeks, and he wouldn't get back in the ring with me for about 3 weeks. But I'd be like, oh, me and
I'm
you got to
coming
spar
back
again
for you,
tomorrow.
yeah.
You got me today. And I didn't take getting beat in the gym, even in training, lightly.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds have become a go-to gift for the holidays. They sound great, last all day and then some, with 32 hours of battery life, and actually stay comfortable no matter how long you wear them. Over 4 million people already have a pair. So if you've been curious, now is the time to try them out. For Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can get up to 30% off all Raycon products. Perfect for gifting or keeping for yourself.
Everyday features that live up to the name. There is a quick charge, so 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of playtime. You get up to 32 hours of battery life with the case, and awareness mode, which is perfect when I'm walking the dog or running errands, so I stay tuned into what's happening around me without missing a beat.
Plus, what else are they loaded with?
Well, the Everyday Earbuds Classic are loaded with upgrades. Active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and an ergonomic fit that actually stays put no matter what you're doing.
The What's Your Story crew uses these buds to listen back to our show, and you can too. Raycon's going big for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Everything's up to 30% off. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/WYS for What's Your Story to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. How do you think sparring with men help prepare you for, to fight women?
Honestly, I feel like I get to see my real gifts. I get to see how strong I really am, how fast I really am. I don't have to pull my punches. I also can take their punches, and also I have to be very conscious of my defense.
Much more so, do you think?
Yeah, up in women's boxing, these girls can punch, like, don't get me wrong, and they're
Right.
strong. But as far as in skill-wise, I've always been able to overcome their strength with my skill. So a girl may have a good right hand. She may have a good hook or an uppercut, but she's not going to hit me with it.
Right, because you're not going to let her.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
my defense is like, hey, when Darion hit me with the uppercut, I felt it and I was like, oh, we got to avoid them. So now when I get inside the ring with the girls and they come with that uppercut or they come with a hook, I'm already conditioned to have my hand up, have my defense on point, and the counter. Listen, if you, coach say, make them miss, make them pay. So if I make you miss with a shot, I'm going to make you pay with a
Then
shot.
you have to counter.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
how I came up. But with the guys, it was always a thing of coach taught us all the same stuff. Like I could put me, Ardrell Holmes, Sardia Simmons, Eddie Dean, even my nephews. I can put us all on a wall and we do this drill called it's called the wall, and it's combinations 2 through 10. And if coach called them and he say go, we all will throw the exact same punches. So he teach us all these different combinations, these slips, these compound punches. He teaches all the same stuff. It's just about who can use it the best. So with me, I was very smart in the gym. And a smart fighter is a great fighter. It's not about a tough fighter.
No.
It's never been about that in boxing. People think, because this person is tough, they're strong, they're big, that they win fights. I can say about 75% of the girls who I fought against just being pro have been stronger than me. I just know how to beat them.
You really think they're stronger than you?
To me, it feels like it, but it doesn't show that because I feel like my punches hurt them more than theirs hurt me. But I don't know. Maybe I just respect
I wouldn't want
when
to
a
take
woman
any
is
of your
strong.
any punches.
I think I just respect when a woman is strong.
Yeah,
like she
for
punched me,
sure.
I'm like, ooh, I
Yeah.
felt that one. That was good.
Yeah.
And even with a lot of men, I think a lot of women, they're not stronger than men, but they know how to punch better than men. Like they put more into their punch. Because I've known, for me, I've been hit harder by a woman than I've been hit by a man. And
Wow.
that's the honest to God truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
But nobody's taking you down or knocked you out.
No.
No. Too tough for that.
Listen,
Too smart for that.
I've had sparring matches where me and these guys are going back and forth. They hit me with big shots. I mean, I got hit with a hook before where I couldn't chew for 3 days. Sardia Simmons did it. He's pro now.
Just right in the jaw.
Yeah, I was hitting him too. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was warranted. He caught me with a shot, and my hand was down, mouth was open. So
Yeah.
he caught me with a hook, and I was like, oh man, I can't. I think when we got done sparring, I'm like, hey, good work, and coaches always have us hug. But I went home trying to eat a sandwich. I said, oh my God, I can't even chew. I got to put it on the other side of my mouth. I got to.
Yeah.
Over here, I couldn't chew on the
Rhonda
side.
did that to me at a much smaller level, but you're like supposed to put your hands up, but it's to block the shots. But I'm not like really. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do theatrically, and she's lighting me up in the corner, and I think instinct just took over, and she came right around my hands and caught me in the jaw, and my mouth was open.
See,
And,
so
yeah.
it's when the mouth
Yeah.
is open. If you bite on that mouthpiece,
Yeah.
and you get hit, it ain't gonna hurt that bad. But if your mouth is open,
Yep.
yeah,
That was
It hurt.
yeah. So I couldn't eat very well, but
Damn,
and she
Rhonda.
was not trying to hit me as hard as she could either. So thank God.
women
But
are
I can
just
only
strong.
relate a tiny little bit
Nah,
to what
listen.
you went through. My God.
3 days is tough, but
Yeah.
I mean, but it happens though. Like
Sure.
black eyes, busted lips.
Just a part of the business.
It's just a part of boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you find that you love about boxing now?
I've always loved that it's me versus you.
Yeah.
You say you can whoop me. You say you're a better fighter than me. You say you knock me out. And I say, okay, let's do it. And I love when two fighters agree to fight and we fight it out. And whoever wins, that's who's queen.
Right.
Right?
Right. It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear as day. You can
Yeah.
say, oh, I could have won or I would have won. But it's like, you don't really know unless you get in there and you do it. And then if you lose, I love the sportsmanship of it. You know, like, listen, it's like you bow out gracefully during the fight because you gave your all inside the ring.
That's right. Yeah.
You accepted the fight. You trained for it. You showed up. You trash talk, whatever. Y'all fought. And then it's a winner. That's what I love about boxing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, it's me versus you. It's not all this talking about what you shoulda, coulda, what you can do.
Right, right.
It's about actually putting forth the effort and doing it and making it happen. You know, and having some heart. It takes a lot to get inside the ring.
Yeah.
To agree to a fight, to constantly watch film of a fighter who may have some strong points, a fighter who's knocking people out, and all you see is footage of them knocking somebody out, and you like, I gotta get ready to fight against this person.
Right.
Like, it takes heart to do that. Like, I fought against Savannah Marshall. Mm-hmm. She beat me in the amateurs, right? I felt like I beat her, but they gave her the decision. So she was queen, right?
Right.
So now,
And that was somewhat devastating to you, right? At that time.
losing sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing
And
fun about
almost
it.
kept you out of the Olympics, but didn't because
Yeah.
of the way it all unfolded.
Yeah, so me losing to her and her winning the tournament seated me high for me to come. Because it's like all the girls in our region lost the same day.
Huh.
So it's like whoever beat you, that's who's kind of carrying you through the tournament on where you rank at to go to the Olympics. So thank God Savannah won gold medal that year. She had got a silver, I think, 2 years prior. Now that she's gold now, that ranked me very, very high. And I was able to get my ticket to the Olympics.
But I interrupted you. You were saying how that loss.
Yeah, so with that loss, right, we didn't fight again until 10 years later in the professional. So the amateurs is over.
Right.
She beat me right before we went to the Olympics. So tournament before the Olympics, world championship, she's a gold medalist. I get my first loss. I'm 25-1. I go to both Olympics, 2012, win a gold medal. She doesn't medal. I go to 2016, win another Olympic gold medal. She doesn't medal again. But she's there. She's in the midst of the Olympics the whole time.
Well, and in the movie, it makes it seem like you think she's going to be the one you face in the finals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was my hopes because it was like, God gonna let me beat her on the biggest stage ever,
Right.
the Olympics.
Right.
And it didn't happen because she couldn't win. The girls that beat her, I beat them.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my gold medal. So now that we're pro, it's still like, we can't forget about in the amateurs where she was queen. So we had never fought again, never faced each other again. We never sparred or anything from 2012. And then now I turned pro 2016. I won all these belts and championships. Savannah's pro. She's knocking girls out, putting them on their back, sleeping them. And every time she wins a fight, she's yelling my name. Claressa Shields, Claressa Shields, Claressa Shields. And I'm
Really?
like, what? Right? And I'm like, I would love to fight against her again. So I'm telling my team early in our careers, when I get my first belt at 4 fights, I'm like, hey, I want to fight against Savannah Marshall. I want to fight against Savannah Marshall. But her team kept saying that she wasn't ready, saying that she was focused on other things. And whatever the case may be, we didn't meet up till 2022. So 10 years, 2012, 2022.
And she had been taking up space in your brain.
Well, I think I was taking a space in hers.
More
Because
so.
I
Because she's
think-
the one calling you out.
Yeah, and it was like I wanted to avenge my loss always. That's what
Right,
winners want to
right.
do.
Of
You
course.
know,
Yeah.
throughout my entire boxing career, 77 wins, 1 loss. Right? So it's like you always want to avenge your only loss. So now turning pro, I was steamrolling girls, picking up belts, beating these champions, and she's like always still there in the midst. So now we fight again, 2022. My purse is $1 million. I don't know what her purse was, but my purse was $1 million.
And wasn't that the first 7-figure
Yeah, in women's boxing. Mm-hmm. So I made the first $1 million, and then
against the woman you lost against?
there we go. That's how God
I mean,
works.
come
He set
on
it
now.
up. But see, God was, and He was doing other things because now He's like, not only am I going to give you the opportunity to fight against her and for $1 million, but we're going to do it in London at the O2 Arena in front of 20,000 fans. 19,996,000 were her fans, and then 4 people was there for me.
It's way better to be
That's
the
how I
heel.
felt. My mom came over, a few of my friends, my coach.
That's great.
But,
That's great.
I just remember when I was walking out, they were booing me, right? They're booing me. Oh, she's gonna kill you. You suck. Go back to America. They booed the national anthem and everything. Like they were on one. And then as the rounds go on, I take the crowd out the fight. I think the first round I went in there and just clocked her.
Right.
She got buzzed. She was woozy. I thought I was gonna knock her out first round because I went in there and just clipped her. Gave her
Yeah.
a good shot. She was woozy for a minute. She made it through. We went a whole 10-round fight. But I know like the 5th round, everybody was quiet. The whole arena was quiet because she gave nothing to cheer for.
Right.
I was in there beating her down. Showing my skills, making her miss, countering her, hitting her hard to the body. And then I think she tried to come on maybe like 7th, 8th round, tried to give a little fight, didn't work. Beat her up some more, won a unanimous decision. But I say that to say that's what I like. Savannah was 12-0 or 13-0, 12 knockouts. I was 12-0, 2 knockouts. Right? So it's just like us fighting. So the point I was making is it takes heart to get in there like
Yeah.
that, because when I'm watching the film on her getting ready for our fight, all you seeing is knockouts.
Right.
It's like, bro, when can I watch a fight where she's actually boxing? She's knocking everybody out.
Right.
5th round, 4th round, 3rd round, 2nd round. It's like she's knocking them out. And I'm like, somebody who's not really cut for boxing would be like, I'm not getting in the ring with her.
Right.
Because something about her that she knocking these girls out. It's scary.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, I want that.
I was just gonna say, how are you mentally preparing yourself, like as you're watching knockout after knockout? What's your mental game going into a fight like that?
I'm in the gym just making sure I get faster, stronger, smarter. I'm looking at what's her best punches, what's her worst punches, what does she do good, what does she do bad, and I want to manipulate everything. I actually want her to do everything that she does good. I'm gonna respect that and let her know, I know you do that good, but it won't be good against me. I'm gonna figure out a way to where your best punches don't mean nothing, right? And so I figured that out. I figured out that her uppercut is very sneaky. I figured that out. I figured out that her punches are knocking these girls out because, one, she's way bigger than them naturally. Like she's rehydrating back to 195 after we weigh in at 160.
Oh,
I'm rehydrating like 172. I'm gaining like 12
did you say
pounds.
195?
Yeah, these
35?
boxers are crazy.
Wow.
They rehydrating is crazy. I don't know how she get down there to the weight, but their rehydration is crazy. When we got inside the ring, she was taller, she was wider, she was bigger. In my mind, I'm like, she must have a twin sister because this ain't her.
It's not the same woman.
Nah, I've been facing off with her. I've been talking trash to her. I've been face to face with her this many times, and then we get inside the ring, and I bounced past her because I walked the ring before every fight. When I get inside the ring, I walk the ring.
And
to
why do you do that?
let these girls know this is my shit. This is my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I get in there, I walk the whole ring. I bounce past her corner, and I just remember like brushing past her, and I said, when she get that big? In my mind, I'm like, don't even think about it.
Don't think, no, get that out of your mind. Get
Like,
that out of your mind.
In my mind, I'm like, she wasn't that big yesterday. we just faced off yesterday. Not the same girl. And then I remember thinking to myself, well, it don't really matter now. We already in here.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it doesn't matter if she's big, she's small, whatever, fast, strong. It don't matter. We already in here.
What do you think was the biggest difference in yourself 10 years later?
The biggest difference in myself from 2012 to 2022 was I was way more hardworking. I was way more hardworking, way more disciplined, way more focused. I think that losing to her was what do they call it? A blessing in disguise.
That's right.
Right? I feel like it forced me to dig deep and never want to feel that feeling again. It forced me to look in the mirror and say, yeah, you thought you were the best and you have the potential to be the best, but you haven't gotten there yet. So what are you missing to get there to be the best? And from there, it just ignited a fire in me that was like, kill, work hard, train, run till you can't breathe, punch till your arms can't hold up no more. I mean, just go the extra mile.
Even that, though, takes heart.
Yes, to bounce back from a loss.
Yeah. But even to train like that. Well, first of all, to bounce back from a loss and to have that perspective that you had, right? Like that's a maturity that I'm not sure many would have had at your age then.
I definitely had a chip on my shoulder
Yeah.
from that. But it was like, the chip was like I said, it's me versus you. So who can I be mad at because I lost to her?
Right. Right.
You know, it was like, you can blame the judges, you can blame the ref, but at the end of the day, it's still something you didn't do for you to win the fight. So when I watched the fight back, I said, I shouldn't have got hit with that shot.
And how is that a metaphor for life?
I think the metaphor that I can think of off the top of my head is push yourself to your full potential, to your greatness.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell myself it's never enough. Everybody like, you done won all 5 different divisions. You 4-time undisputed. You got 19 world championships. What else can you do? I'm like, you ever heard of 20 world championships?
Right?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of 3 Olympic gold medals? Hey, 2028.
It's coming up.
What we doing, LA? Hey, I'm here.
Representing this,
Hey,
absolutely.
We haven't won an Olympic gold medal in boxing since 2016. And that was your girl. That was me. I don't mean to.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
So if the U.S. Olympic Committee want to let me know if I could come back and represent us again, defend my 2 Olympic gold medals, hey, I'll bust my butt to get down to 165 and I'll show you how to win a gold medal again. Again. In L.A. In L.A., I'm there.
Well, I'm hoping to see that.
Yeah, listen, me too.
Yeah.
Listen, I would love to see it. That's why I be letting them know. I be calling them like, hey, I'm letting you guys know I'm interested. I want to represent my country
Hope you're
again.
listening.
I know.
Yeah.
And listen, I feel like they need me as much as I need them.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's make it happen.
Yeah. Win-win.
Win-win. That's it.
Win-win-win. Our partner on this show is Game Day Men's Health. And they would like to know, what is your reset strategy if you ever feel like you're running on empty? Just in general, training-wise, your body.
I am like a super girly girl. I go and get my nails done. I go and get my hair done. I go and get a massage, hot tub, a sauna, steam room. I just take the whole couple days off and just be like, nothing but recovery.
That's great. That's important, right?
And that gets me right back to where I need to be. Listen, I was a machine for a very long time, coming up in the amateurs, 11 till I think 18. I never got a massage a day in my life. I don't know what a massage is. All I've ever done was use ice.
Yeah.
Ice. So now when I got grown, you find out about these massages and you let somebody massage you, like, this is great. So I'm like super big on massages, super big on just taking the day to de-escalate and Cutting the phone off, man. The phone drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah. That's really
That's
healthy.
how I reset.
Yeah. Game Day Men's Health believes burnout isn't a badge of honor, it's a signal. Their personalized treatments help men stay focused, energized, and sharp for whatever life throws at them. Learn more at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. When I first started learning about you, because I am so inspired by you, I'm in awe of you. I just think you are such a remarkable human being. And what really drew me to you was your story with your grandmother.
Yeah.
So can you talk about your grandmother a little bit and maybe some of the key lessons that she taught you?
Oh man, my grandma taught me so much. I don't even know where to start. You know,
And you lived with her from when you were
5 till I was 10,
5 to 10.
and then I lived with her again, 9th grade, 10th grade, and then she passed when I was in the 10th, when I was 15. But oh man, my grandma taught me how to cook. My grandma helped me learn how to talk. I had a bad speech impediment. I used to stutter really bad.
Yeah.
I could not get the words out. But she was patient with me.
And did people judge you for your stutter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they judged me and bullied me in elementary school. And that's where I developed my anger problem from, people bullying me. Mm-hmm. And then from there,
And if you can't talk, if you can't use your words to fight back,
you use your fist.
you use your fists.
And that's what I was doing. But I learned that, I've always had a small tolerance for people messing with me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when I started getting into fights, I would see that once you punch some people up sometime, they leave you alone.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was my go-to. It was like, forget to talk to me because I can't talk anyway. But since you came over here and you pulled my hair, I'm about to fight you. I've thrown chairs at girls in school. I've been in police cars back in elementary school. My grandma
Did you just say police cars in elementary school?
the police was taking me back to my grandma's house after
Yeah?
getting in the fights.
And what would she say? Because now here you come in the police car.
Coco, what happened now? What happened now, Coco? Now they trying to tell her, like, she came and bought my work up and threw it in the trash, and then I was sitting there with my head down. She came and pulled my hair. She called me nappy-headed. You know, my grandma was like, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And I was like, but they do hurt. And her pulling my hair hurt it.
Yeah.
So I had to make her feel that pain back. But, you know, I think my grandma was a no-nonsense type of grandma. She did not allow me to cry. If I did cry, she'd say, go out there and sit on the porch till you get done. I used to cry because I have 4 siblings who stay with my mom, well, 3 of them, plus me. And so living with my grandma, it was like, now I'm the only child. There's no kids here. I want to go back with my mom. I want to spend time with my siblings. And I couldn't. So when I used to get emotional about that, she used to be like, go outside and sit on the porch. I don't want to see you cry. Get on my face. And I used to go outside and do my little crying. And when I got done, I come back in. She'd be like, you want something to eat? My grandma was she was very loving.
Yeah.
And very nice. But she also just very stern.
Yeah.
Right.
She's old school.
Yeah, and that's what I love about her, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
and she understood surviving through her experience.
yes.
Right. So
my
she
grandma
wanted...
beat cancer 4 times before she passed.
Wow.
Yeah, she passed from cancer. And, you know, you just don't get people like that. You know, you just don't get people like that. Like, my grandma, how she was able to teach me how to talk, to be patient with me, to tell everybody, it's like, she told everybody, she's not deaf, and she know how to talk. She don't want to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
You know, and my grandma just was she was very funny. And always supported me. She did me a big fundraiser when I was 15. We sold hot dogs with cheese and beef on them, some little dogs up in Flint. And to do me a fundraiser to help me go to one of my tournaments. And I just remember she used her food stamps to do it. She paid for all the food, brought all the stuff, put the table out there. And she was just really big in our community. You know, she supported me and always told me to listen to my coach, Jason. Whatever he say is right. Because I'm not a person who think that nobody's right. I think I'm right.
Right.
Right?
Of course. Well, especially when you're that young.
Yeah, but I think even now it's like, you're right a little bit.
I see your point.
You know, but I think at a younger age, I definitely was like, nah, I'm the only one that's right.
Yeah.
My way of thinking or no way of thinking.
Right.
So I just remember her telling me, like, listen to my coach and stuff like that. And
Did they meet? Did they have a relationship?
yeah, my grandma used to. So it's so weird. People don't understand how small Flint is. So Spencer Street is now Clarissa Shields Street,
Really?
which is the street that I grew up on with my grandma. Right.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the way that God works. But if you walk right down Spencer Street, Burson is right there at the corner on North Saginaw. It's right across the street.
Wow.
So my grandma used to stroll down the street with her cane and come and walk in the boxing gym and sometime watch me train. She'd talk to Jason. She'd seen me spar a couple times. And she always was, she didn't say much, but she would look and you could just tell she was happy and that she was proud. You know, so my grandma, I could talk about her all day. But, you know, I seen her 2 weeks before she passed. And she said, Coco, when I die, tell them to bury me face down. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, so they can all kiss, so they can all kiss my ass. I was crying when she said it.
Right.
But I started laughing.
Yeah.
And she said, Coco, I'm for real. Don't be letting them come here and kiss and hug on me. You know, I don't like these people. And I just remember, I always remember that because that's the last time that I had spoke to her. And then 2 weeks later, she passed when I was 15. And I think her death was so hard to deal with
Sure.
for me that I didn't really try to acknowledge it till like 8 years later, you know, where I went to the gravesite and let off balloons and like now we do that now, but it took some time.
Yeah.
It wasn't till a few years ago. I had to go to therapy, you know, because I hadn't grieved her. She's too hard to grieve somebody like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we have tissues?
yeah, she's.
When people truly love you, I think in life that love is what matters most. And the people that really believe in you, they hold a special place.
Yeah. But we grieve her. We celebrate her all the time now. You know, her birthday is November 6th. We let off balloons. She died December 21st.
Do you feel her with you? Yeah.
That's why I wear Coco on my shorts. Because ain't no way I'm gonna lose in front of my grandma.
I love that.
She do not take losses. You know, she don't take losses well. Me neither, but she was just, you know, you meet somebody who, you know, love you for yourself.
Yeah.
All your flaws when I couldn't talk, when I could.
That's okay. Take your time. We have plenty of time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, you okay. I think Club Shay Shay did the same thing. Everybody keep asking about her.
Well, grandmas are so important.
You know, she was very important. I just think that for me, like me having to process it,
yeah.
I processed it, but it still like it hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's telling me to go sit on the porch right now. Like, go sit on the porch.
I was gonna make that joke, but I felt like it was bad timing.
But no, grandmas are really important. You know, she was my mother figure.
Yeah.
Like I'm close to my mom now, you know, but I wasn't close to her growing up, and
She had problems.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, she dealt with her drug abuse and her alcohol abuse coming up, and my grandma was just, she was there when I moved back with my mom when I was 10. My grandma knew that we didn't have a lot of food. She'd come over there and bring us a box of food every week with grape juice in it, the the cheese, the box of cheese. They don't even have that no more.
Yeah.
They like the box of cheese you can cut. It will have turkey, ham, bread, eggs, you know, but without her, we really wouldn't eat, you know? So my grandma still found a way to always be involved. And my birthday is St. Patrick's Day. It might not be a big deal to y'all, you know, because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I'm Irish, so.
Huh?
I'm Irish, so.
Okay, it's a big deal. But my grandma treated St. Patrick's Day like Thanksgiving for me. She would make me a cake. She would cook a big old dinner. You would think it was Thanksgiving.
Well,
Yeah, so my grandma was, you know, she was just great, and that's why I don't mind talking about her and letting the world know how great she was, so her legacy keeps living on. And I try to be as good as a person as I can be, because when I die, I want to see her. It's not really about down here on earth, because some people need to get cussed out, punched in the face, kicked in the like. Listen, you need to get it. Karma not coming quick enough for some of them. But I try to be a great person because I want to be. I think my grandma. I know my grandma went to heaven, and it's like I want to go there too, so I can just reunite with her. So I try to, you know, let all these evil ways and anger ways go to be a better person, you know, so God can accept me in His good graces whenever it's time for me to go.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
What did you call her?
Granny.
Granny.
Granny. But you know, when you're around somebody so much, sometimes you be like, Ma, I mean Granny.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times she's like, you can call me Mom. I'd be like, yeah, but you're my granny. You know, so, but it happened so much where it was like, hey, Ma. She'd be like, I'm like, oh, Grandma, Granny, sorry.
And why did you get to stay with her versus your siblings?
So
Or did they at some point?
No, at the age of 5, I was the R word by one of my mom's boyfriends. And
At 5 years old.
yeah, at 5. And I told my Aunt Mary about it. My Aunt Mary told my grandma. And my grandma was like, she's coming with me. Because I guess at the time, he was my mom's boyfriend. And he had threatened to harm me for me telling on him. So my grandma was like, well, he can make all the threats he want to make, but he come over here, I'm going to light his ass up. So he didn't come over to grandma's house. I think it took 2 years for my mom to get rid of that guy who she was with. But I still didn't move back with her right away. It took 5 years. I was with my grandma until I was 10. Yep.
Do you have, how do you get over something like that?
I think talking about it. You know, I had when it happened to me at 5, when I had got raped. I didn't understand what was going on when I was a kid. I just seen I wasn't at the house with my mom no more. I had heard a few things about what had happened, but my grandma tried to protect me from all that, you know. And she just
You're
was like,
so young.
yeah, and I think that for me, my grandma was helping me through so much. And then thank God I found boxing to channel some of that anger that I had. But, you know, it made me be scared of men for a long time. Be scared of people. You know, because I remember like, I'm not going to say I was friends with him, but he's my mom's boyfriend. So I remember him being nice to me, giving me popcorn, popsicles, you know.
Sure.
And then the next day, I just know he was hurting me. So that there put a lot of trust issues in me when it like come to people. And so when I see people who who I'm friends with or something, and then they go bad, start treating you a certain way or doing certain things,
When they show you who they are.
that actually scares me. So I run away from people like that. It's like if we're being nice to each other and we're going to be friends, we can be friends. But to be friends one day and then the next day the total opposite, I drop people like a bad habit, block their number,
Good.
stop being friends with them because it's just scary to me. So for years I dealt with that. But talking to my mom at the age of 17 about it is what really helped me get through it.
Because you hadn't talked to her about
Hadn't
it.
talked to her forever. Nope. We never talked about it. It was like a unknown territory. You know, so we finally talked about it when I was 17. I'm like, Mama, listen, they are interviewing me. They asking me questions. They saying that I'm very ferocious and I'm dangerous as a fighter. They want to know where it comes from. They want to know about my childhood. What do I tell them? Mm-hmm. I just kept it short. Like, listen, I had a rough upbringing, but I'm the queen of boxing now, you know. But that's not good enough for some reporters. They want to know who you really are because you're so different. And I was like, I don't want to tell them this.
Yeah.
Because me and her never talked about it, and I didn't want to make her look bad.
Right.
So when we talked about it, that's when she told me about, you know, about how I always grew up thinking that she didn't believe me, that she believed him, that he chose her side.
Because
So-
she stayed with him.
Exactly. So that built resentment in me toward my mom. So I always tell everybody, like, I love my mom, but I didn't like her
Yeah.
for a lot of my teenage and child years. Even at 13, 14, you know, I was like, I was back staying with my mom and them, but I was like, I don't mess with this lady.
Yeah.
I don't like her. And but I loved her. So at 17, when we talked about it, that's where me and my mom we bended our relationship, and then we got better.
Yeah.
You know, but it just was, we had to talk about it, and she let me know, like, that she didn't not believe me, that you know, she just really she couldn't believe it, for one.
Right.
Somebody that she was in love with at the time. He was threatening to harm me. That's why I had moved with my grandma, so she was protecting me, right? And you know, she eventually did get rid of him, but she never, not once, not believed me, right? So I think that was my biggest thing why I didn't want to talk about it, because, like, if I felt like my mom didn't believe me, well, I'm gonna tell strangers
Right.
who don't know me about my story, so they can say that they don't believe me too. So that's why I always just kept it to myself, and I buried it so deep in the back of my mind that I didn't forget that it happened, but I just knew it wasn't ever gonna happen again. You know?
Have you ever read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings?
No, I think I've heard of the story a little bit.
It's Maya Angelou's first autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very powerful story that's similar.
Wow,
If ever, you know, you feel like
I'm
picking
gonna
it
have to
up.
go read it. It's a whole book.
It's a book, but it's very different type of autobiography,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really beautiful, and it's her story, and I think it would resonate with you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to read it. I don't
She-
really
she
read.
was
I
8.
I listen, so I be like I got the audio.
Oh, I got
book.
the audiobook. I mean, I didn't read it.
Yeah,
I listened to
'cause
it.
we don't be
too.
having time to
Yeah,
sit
no,
down
I'm in the
and
car,
read.
listen to it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's me.
I mean, reading's important and great, but yeah.
It's very
I listen too.
Very essential. Reading is very essential, but everybody don't have time to sit down
Yeah,
and
that's
read them
true.
and
That's
actually
true.
read them small letters and stuff. I have time.
Especially when you're getting ready to do everything that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's exciting you right now? Like what's on the horizon right now?
Oh my God. So many different things. So many different things. One, I've been a free agent for the past, since July 26th, I've been a free agent. I defended my Undisputed Championship at heavyweight. I won. Duh. And then after that, I was a free agent. So being a free agent in today's time, it's great, but it's very challenging, especially being a woman boxer.
So how so?
I mean, one, there's not many players in the game, right? So you have to, all these different promotions want to work with you now because you're a free agent,
Right?
because you add value to their companies and they can add value to you. And you just have to look at these contracts and go back and forth with everybody. Even with my old promoter, and see who got the best deal, who see the big picture that you see. And sometimes it's hard for people to see the big picture that you see.
Yeah.
You're right. So for me, it was like
Someone to
I've
believe
been
in your
just-
vision.
Exactly. So I've been
Yeah.
negotiating with all of them for months. And we finally came to a decision, last week? Or I don't even want to say it was last week. Was it three days ago? Pop? 3 days ago? Yeah, 3 days ago. So it was just like, I'm happy
That's great.
that I'm finally off the market. It's kind of like being a single woman looking for a man. It's kind of what what it feels like. Because you're like, okay, this is what he brings to the table. He brings this. He brings that. But wait, he's
Nice
not,
to have so many options.
right? He's not good at communicating, but he's good in bed. So that's how hard it was. It was like, yo, but it was the dollar amount for me. Recognizing who I am, recognizing my vision, knowing that I only want to get bigger and better because I feel like my brand is bigger than boxing now.
Yeah.
It's way outside of that. I'm into music now and boxing and fashion and hair, makeup. I'm all over. So it's like boxing is just the start of it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm in these different realms. So some of these promotions only see you as a boxer. So they offer the money to you as just a boxer. Mm-hmm. But then you have promotions like the one that I signed with who see everything. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
So they see everything. They come with the bag,
Right?
you know? So the big deal that I got is that I signed for $8 million with Salida/Win Records. So
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Woo! Show me the money.
Is that the biggest deal ever for women's boxing?
I believe so in women's boxing, yes. It's a 2-year deal, $8 million. I get a few million next week.
Like a signing bonus
Like
up
a
front?
sign, exactly.
Yeah.
Come,
yeah.
show me the bag. What you
That's
talking
right.
about? What you want to say? The bag, the suitcase.
Take something out of the bag for me.
Yeah, however you want to do it. And I'm just really excited about that because I was like, I had great offers from everybody. I think I enjoy negotiating with everybody to see their mindset, you know, and everything. But I think to have 2 Olympic gold medals, 19 world championships, 4-time undisputed, the only boxer in history to be 4-time undisputed, I think $8 million is warranted. And I've always wanted
And
to deal
across
like this.
3 different weight classes.
Yes.
Like, I don't think people understand how challenging, I mean, in general, to have these accolades, but then also to fight at so many different weights.
You know what? I think, to me, my weight classes that I won world championships at are harder than the world championships in the lower divisions. In the lower divisions, they're closer together. You got 112, 116, 120.
Not a lot of difference.
You know, it's just a few pounds.
Sure.
121, 126, 132, 140. Like, they're all so close, but then you get to the bigger weight classes and you got 160. Well, hold on. Let me go to 154 first. Then you got to jump 6 pounds to go to 160. Then you got to jump 8 pounds to go to 168. You got to jump 7 pounds to go to 175.
Right.
And then 175 plus is 175 plus.
Right.
So you can be wearing 175,
And someone
but the girl
else-
you're fighting against could be wearing 200,
Right.
210.
Right.
Like
No
it's-
limit.
Right. So in women's boxing, the heavyweight division is 175, 175 plus. So it's just like, that's what I feel is the difference between when I take over all these different weight classes,
Yeah.
you know?
But so this deal, and
Yes.
he just left for a second, but part of it your boyfriend helped
Yes.
bring to the table, right? Because of the music side.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit how it's a different type of deal structure?
Yeah, so we all know who Salida Promotions is. That's Dimitri Salida, a boxing promotion. He's been around for many, many, many years hosting these fights. And that's my first promoter that I've ever signed with. So I've been with him since 2016. Now, Dimitri is a great promoter, but he's still working his way up. He still can compete with the other promotions, right? But Win Records bring Win Records. They have so many connections to all these different artists. They throw concerts all over the world throughout the year. It's ran by Ruben Branson. He's a I don't even know how much million I can say what he is. But Ruben Branson, and then we have Pap, who is the executive of Win Records. And Pap has helped elevate Win Records to a different level as far as in these concerts, the people that perform at these concerts, selling out 10,000, 15,000, 16,000, 20,000 people, right? So they bring their knowledge of how to put butts in seats, the music industry, knowing all these different celebrities and having all these different contacts,
And then bringing it all together.
and then putting it with boxing, with the GWOAT, it all works out. So as far as in like social media, bring like they know how to get the word out. Because I'm gonna get the word out anyway.
Right, you are.
I always been
Absolutely.
like
I hope we can help with that.
Promotion.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like, hey, baby, you need me to post something? You need me to make a video? I'm always like helping
Sure,
with the
no,
promotion.
you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. Yeah.
Because it's needed.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So I feel like all of us working together with Salida Promotions, Win Records, myself and Papoose, it all comes, that's how it all came together. You know, and you know, Ruben with Salida seen the value of me, knowing that I just sold out Little Caesars Arena July 26th with 16,000 people. It's not many women that can sell at that arena
No, that's true.
by themselves.
Yeah.
I was the main
as
event.
the main event, as the main draw.
Yeah, like
yeah,
I'm the main attraction.
yeah,
Not the undercards and stuff. The undercards is cute,
sure. But it's not
co-main,
you.
but the main, everybody want to see. Listen, we all want the cherry on top. You know, yeah, you can give them a little cake, a little, you know, but the cherry, people like, I really wanted the cherry. Why you took my cherry?
Yeah.
So I'm the cherry on top.
Yeah, you're the main event.
Right, I'm like the sugar on the rim of the drink. The
I-
drink
I-
is good, but you want the sugar.
I think you bring it all.
Exactly.
I think you're the
I'm
drink
like the
and the
cake
sugar.
and the cherry.
Yeah.
Okay. The drink and sugar.
The whole drink, the whole
Yeah.
rim, you're
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, all of it. All of it.
The lychee. I love lychee. No, so for me, that's how everything just comes together, and that's how this deal was able to get made. And
So I mean, this is it's a new deal in so many different ways,
yeah,
right? And that's, I mean, it's incredible. So
very, very incredible. I can't even think about what do you do with that much money? How do you spend it?
right, you be smart with it. Do you
Yeah.
have financial advisors?
Yes.
Okay, great. Ones that you trust that are
Yes.
very credible and
No, because not many people that I trust. So the girl
Right.
I've been working with the past couple years is very, very great.
good.
Very good.
Because, you know, there are a lot of shysters out there.
No, listen,
And there will be more that'll come around the more
I
ones-
ran into one about 5 years ago. Tried to tell me that it cost that I had to pay him $9,000 for him to even just file my taxes, and then I owed, he say $45,000. I'm like, how does that work? You know, I can go right on the street to H&R Block and they'll find my
Right.
stuff for free. What are we doing here? Like
Right?
something not adding up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
because
excuse
think
that they
can
give you
take
is like,
advantage.
oh, I did your personal tax and then I did your business taxes. And I was like, well, did you do any write-offs? Because why do I owe $45,000?
Right?
I mean, not even Trump pays taxes and he make way more money than me. Love Trump. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like Trump. I don't know if I like him as a president,
Right?
but he's definitely a funny man.
He's funny. He is funny.
When he gets on the mic, I watch the video and like this.
You can't not watch.
You can't not
Yeah.
watch and like, listen, he gave people stimulus checks and stuff. He's pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't agree with all his decisions, but do you agree with everybody's decisions? But like I said, if he was to do stand-up comedy or whatever,
Right,
I
you're
would
in.
definitely be like,
He's the main event.
yeah. He's the sugar with the drink. He's sugar with the drink.
Big news, WWE and sports fans. The world's #1 sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its return to New York City. Fanatics is bringing you closer to the leagues, teams, superstars, and athletes you love across 4 action-packed days in July.
Meet your favorite WWE superstars, get your hands on exclusive merch, catch live podcasts, and interact with the biggest names in sports.
Tickets go on sale November 13th, so mark your calendars and don't miss out. Full information at fanaticsfest.com. So how important do you think music and presentation are in boxing?
It's a triangle, right? Mm-hmm. You have entertainment, you have sport, then you have music. It's it's this golden
together.
triangle that everybody wants to master. They want to put it together, but sometimes they don't know how to make it all work because it's all so different.
Sure.
You got sport where okay, for instance, you got sport, myself, where the fighter has to sacrifice, train, diet, stay locked in, right?
Yep.
And then you have entertainment where it's like, up in boxing, I have to entertain a little bit, but my main focus is boxing, my sport. The entertainment part is the theatrics of it, the walkout, the dancers, the music you walk out to, the artists you walk out to. And then when you go to the music part of it, I feel like the music industry with their fans, music kind of connects us all. We all have so many differences, so many different cultures, beliefs, Bibles, but for some reason we can all still like the same song.
Yeah.
Right? The same artist.
Yep.
So when you can figure out how to make this triangle work with the music, the entertainment, and the sport part of it, it's a really great triangle. And I think that you got to be a person in sport who understand that you have to entertain a little bit, you have to be in music a little bit, you have to understand music, the music business, the entertainment business. And you just got to be involved. Like this whole social media world, listen, social media makes it to where everybody can eat.
Yeah.
You can figure out something that you can do on social media that can make you some money, get you some fans. So when you put all three of those together, social media on music, social media with entertainment, social media with boxing. I rap.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
What? Come on now.
I was going to
I
ask
really
about
didn't.
that.
Yeah.
Listen, I got some verses.
Yeah.
I like the Olympic, not Ozempic line.
There you go. She know my music.
I heard. I was going to ask with the new deal if that means you'll be doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I think that'll be a little separate deal. But if Win Records wanted to sign me
No, additional.
to a music
Yeah,
deal,
right.
On top.
yeah, another cherry.
Yeah, another cherry.
Yeah, like I would definitely do it. Right now, I've released 3 songs. I got Poke the Quote. I got IDJF2, Miss IDJF2, and then I have Pop My Shit, right?
Which one's your favorite?
Girl? Oh, and then I forgot about Round 1, so I got 4 songs.
Okay.
I have to say right now my favorite one is Miss IDJF2.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that one. Because I'm on
two? I don't give a fuck, two?
Yeah, so Brie Biasi is a rapper from, where's she from? Indiana, but she lives in Atlanta. I love her music, right? And so she has a song called Miss IDJF. That's why we're IDJF2 remix.
Okay.
Because she got Miss IDJF, Miss IDJF2, and then us together is Miss IDJF2 remix. And that's why I did the Ozempic line right there.
I mean, do we want to hear some of it? Can you guys play some of it?
I can rap a little bit. Let me go ahead and think about it.
Okay. We can also play it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So you don't have to do that.
it's
I
on
mean,
Apple.
and if you want to, that's cool, but you don't have to. We
I can rap
play
along
it.
to it. I give you a little performance. Let's
Okay,
go.
yeah.
Let's do it.
See how
I'll
fast
unlock
he can
this.
be. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, and my rap name is Rest of the Globe. It's not Clarissa Shields, so don't look that up.
Okay.
Don't poke the quote.
Rest of the Globe.
Phenomenal.
Oh, Poke the Globe song is a lot of cussing in that.
I just love the title. The title is enough for me.
Yeah, it's like this is what happens when you poke the globe. She talks to
Okay.
you like this. And I was talking crazy to some people. It's another way to express yourself.
Sure.
Music.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say this stuff in like a press conference or like I still have kids who look up to me.
Yes.
So it's like music is like you can get away with saying certain stuff in music.
That's
you can't get
true.
away with saying it like up in a.
No, there's many examples.
Yeah, it's a
Cardi
lot.
B's like very much coming to mind. There's many
Right, but
lyrics that
it's her music. But
Yeah.
if she's in the interview and then she says some stuff she said in her music, you'd be like, that's not right.
right, yeah. Isn't
Right,
that
so-
interesting?
Yeah, but I think that's what music is for, though. I'm Mrs. Put You in Your Place, Mrs. Stop a Bitch Clout. If she always popping it, I'm Mrs. Knock a Bitch Out, Mrs. Body Giving Tea, Mrs. Never Took Ozempic, 4 times undisputed, Mrs. 2-time Olympic, Mrs. Different Tax Bracket, dumb hoe, I'm rich, Mrs. $90,000 bracelet on my wrist, Mrs. Younger Than You Old Bitches with wag balls, Mrs. No Kids, 5 houses and 4 cars, Mrs. Pray Before I Fight, yeah, I study my Bible, everything I do they post, Mrs. Always Viral, I'm Mrs. IDGAF champion of the year. You miss it, GTFOH. Get the fuck out of here.
So good.
Woo! That was awesome. That was
working on
awesome.
the
I
next
was
deal.
just, you gotta push it out.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
That's right.
I like going to the studio and just rapping and putting real facts on paper because I've never took Ozempic.
Good for
Really.
you.
And I'm not against somebody that do.
Sure.
I'm just scared of it.
Yeah.
I'm scared of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I tried. And I am one of the few people that cannot take it.
Did it? I mean, was it
I
working?
was sick.
Oh, but it works, huh?
Well, I mean, it works for a lot of people, but I was sick for 3 days. I did one
She
of the
lost a lot of
versions.
weight right off the bat.
Just because I was so sick.
Really?
I was sick. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sick. I'll get my fat ass in the gym and run and diet and stuff. But I just feel like naturally, and you got to embrace yourself naturally. But if there are remedies that can help you, I think you should definitely take them. But just look at all the facts, though, the pros and the cons of stuff.
Yeah, well, do your research, right?
Yeah, do your research.
Always know and understand as much as you can
Yeah.
before you make a decision. Which is one of the things I wanted to ask you about in terms of the young girls that you inspire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily young girls, and not just girls, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you inspire so many people to keep fighting, not only for what they believe in, but for themselves.
Yes.
And what are, there's so many different questions that come to mind, but what are some of your pieces of advice for, say, high school girls right now who are kind of in that place where you were at that time, training for the Olympics? They don't necessarily aren't going to the Olympics, but they're training for something in
Yeah.
their life.
Some of my biggest advice that I just give to teenagers, kids, is don't be afraid to be different. I think we all love things that we all love and do things that somebody else may see us do and be like, that's not cool. That's
Right.
not good, right? And for me, that's what boxing was. Like, I started boxing and people didn't approve of it. I went to school with a black eye. People laughed about it. But it was like, I just knew that boxing was it for me. So I had to accept, like, don't be afraid to be different, or don't be afraid to be judged. And I would just tell them too, your life is about your decisions. I think that sometimes when you come up in bad upbringings or even good upbringings, and you have these parents, right, and your parent is not all that. You got some kids who got great parents. Parents feed them, take care of them, hair, clothes, whatever. Then you have on the other end where it's parents who lack that or don't have the skills to do that, or I don't even know how to put it. Just aren't mentally there yet.
Right.
To be a parent. And so it's like you go without. And I always tell them, just because your parent was alcoholic or abused drugs or went to jail, it doesn't mean that that's the type of life that you have to have. Your life is about your decisions. And I feel like I knew that at a very young age, that if I didn't want to be poor for the rest of my life, that I had to do something.
Right.
That I had to figure it out.
And that you have the ability to do that
Yeah.
no matter who you are.
No matter who you are, you have the ability to figure it out. You don't have to be stuck in your circumstances. Whatever you want to be right now, especially when you're a teenager or a kid, you can decide you want to be that right now. And if you take the proper steps to get there, you can accomplish that. And that's something that I carry all the time, is that make the right decisions. I think that everyone is one decision away from changing their entire life.
Yeah.
Right? So,
For better or worse.
right, for better or worse, but I always
Yeah.
say for changing their life for the better. It's like,
Yeah.
it's one decision where everything can be going bad, but you make one right decision, it'll go right. Like this, I feel like some decisions people think about too long when they want to decide something. They think about it for weeks and weeks and months, and it's like, you got to understand, that opportunity is not going to always be there. Just like that shot in a fight,
Right.
is not always going to be there. You got a split second to
Take
get
your
this shot off, right? And if you land it, you knock him out. If you miss it,
Right.
you got to try to make the opportunity again. But why not take the shot
Yeah.
when it's opening, right? So I just believe in that. When hard work meets opportunity,
Yep.
that makes success.
Yeah.
So it's like work hard, then the opportunity will come.
And it's up to you
Yes,
what you do as an individual.
as an individual, make the right choices. I always say, don't drink, don't smoke.
Right.
It makes you impaired.
Yeah.
Period. You smoking, you drinking. If you're an athlete and you smoking, it messes with your lungs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you're drinking, it messes with your liver, brain. And I'm just like, for me, it's like, if you want to do something, don't be afraid of putting your all in because you might not do it. Oh,
Right.
Like giving yourself like a way out, like an
excuse.
Excuse.
Yeah.
It's like go 100% and see what happens. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna win. You're gonna accomplish it. And if you do lose or it doesn't happen, try again.
Yeah, and learn from it, right?
Right? And I think some people are so scared of that. They're like so scared of trying something and seeing that it doesn't work.
Scared
and
to
then,
fail.
And then trying again.
Yeah.
And it's like
They'd rather just not try and stay in their
and
safe
that,
space.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Then you're stuck. You never know what you're capable of.
You're gonna just live your whole life scared to take chances, and then before you know it, you're 60 years old and you done missed out on life, and you're like, oh yeah, I could have been Golden Glove champion.
Right.
Everybody say that they're Golden Glove champion.
Yeah, no, I've met many.
Everybody say that. or like they could have been Golden Glove champion. I'm like, well, which part of the Golden Glove did you win? Did you win the state, the regional, or the nationals? It's 3 different levels.
Now
to
I
it.
can ask that question.
Yeah, see that would be no. I know when you say you won the national Golden Glove, like okay, it take 3 steps. You got to beat everybody in your state first, and beat everybody in your region, and then you got to go fight everybody who made it there from across the world,
Right.
And especially like in the U.S. So they be saying that they Golden Glove champion, and they be winning in they state, and never making it to the actual regionals or the nationals.
Yeah.
So all the Golden Glove champions, we see you.
We see you. We see you. We see you now. This is a blind ranking, so I'm warning you, there's one like red herring in here.
What is this? Like a blind ranking of what? Boxing?
I'm going to throw out 5 names, and you must rank them. Well, you know what? Why don't you do this one? 1 through 5 in the all-time greatest boxing spectrum. You won't know who's coming next, so be careful where
Jesus.
you rank them.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, Ann Wolf.
Oh, these are all women.
Yes, all
women.
5 women.
Wow. I mean,
I know, it's this weird.
I don't want to spoil it. Am I on there?
I knew you were going to ask that. You may or may not be.
You know what? I'll go ahead and give Ann Wolf 2.
All right.
All right. Katie Taylor.
Dang. 3.
Amanda Serrano.
This 5, right?
Yep.
4.
Layla Ali.
5.
Clarissa Shields.
1, baby. I was like, wait, so you say Ann Wolf said, oh, these women boxers? But that's a pretty good list. If you got me first, I do believe that Ann Wolf is right after me. Next is Katie, because first of all, me and Katie have gone back and forth on the pound list for years. So I've been number 1 for the last 2-3 years, and then before that it was her, and then before that it was me. So we always switch. So she says that she considered me and her 1A and 1B, and I'm like, that's actually fair. I love Katie, so I can share that with her, right? So we have myself, Katie, Amanda is a powerhouse. No, myself and Wolf, Katie, Amanda. I mean, maybe I would put Layla before Amanda if I didn't know that the thing was blinded.
Right.
Maybe Amanda before Layla.
I mean, we've just heard some of the beef back and forth with the two of you. Do you
Ah.
think we ever will actually get the fight or no?
You know what? This is what I would say about that. Remember when I told you about the whole one-on-one thing I love about boxing?
Yeah.
I don't like all this back and forth. It's been
Right.
going on for 8 years now.
It's so long. Like,
And-
make your decision.
So she was 40 when it started, or 39, right? Now she's 47. I'm 30.
Yeah.
So I know she feels that she's the best or that she can knock me out, whatever she feels, right? But if it's never going to happen, there's no need to keep going back and forth.
Right.
So I don't think
That it's going to happen.
it's going to happen because Layla knows
'Cause
she
it
cannot
hasn't yet.
beat me in a fight. I mean, if I was less skilled and less powerful, you know, she like bringing up, oh, she got 3 knockouts and she got 21 or whatever the case may be. But it's like, you know that I'm a powerhouse. You know I'm very skilled. You know I'm faster than you by a long shot. Like, you know these things. And I just feel like the fight is never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm cool with.
Sure.
I'm cool with because there are other fish. What is it? There are bigger fish to fry. And when I say bigger, there are girls who have been active as long as I've been active. They got world championship belts. They're making money. I'm making money. We can make these fights happen. Like, we got girls like, I don't think I'm the only girl in boxing that can beat Layla Ali in a fight. I think there's plenty of us. Like, when I say plenty, I mean like a Shadesha Green. If she was to fight against Layla, she'd beat her in a fight. Savannah Marshall will beat Layla in the fight. I will beat Layla in the fight. Franchon Cruz will beat Layla in the fight. It's plenty. Danielle Perkins will beat Layla Ali in a fight, and she's 42.
You think in her prime?
Now, in her prime is another question,
Right.
right? I think in her prime, I definitely still would have beat her, right? I think in her prime, Shadesha would have had a split decision with her, going either way. Because I'm looking at the skill set and the power and everything of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Shadesha's actually a big girl. She's strong, whatever. I think even with Franchon, it'd be like a split decision because these girls kind of have the same attributes, right? And my attributes are just so much more than theirs.
Right. You're the GOAT.
I can say my
You're the
opinion
GOAT.
or I can say facts. If you watch the footage, you know exactly what I'm talking
Well, your
about.
record certainly speaks to that.
Record, the belts, the Olympic
Yeah.
gold medals.
Yeah, it all wraps up in the
it
record.
all
and,
it all comes
you know, it's
together.
everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah. And do you think she helped pave the way?
I can't say that for me. She let people know that women's boxing existed, right? But as far as me fighting in the Olympics and everything, that had
Right.
nothing to do with Layla Ali.
Yeah.
That had something to do with Christy Halbert and Barbara Buttrick, who went to court to fight for our rights as women to fight in the Olympics as boxers.
Wow.
That's who paved the way for me. Now, Layla being a black woman who was boxing in the professionals, or her being Muhammad Ali's daughter, definitely put the world on notice that girls were fighting, right? Which is still big, but as far as in the amateurs, that didn't contribute to me.
Yeah.
And now I have to say it didn't contribute to me turning pro either, because when Layla Ali fought, I don't know when her last fight was, but I know when I first turned pro and I fought on TV, a woman's fight hadn't been shown on TV for 20 years. So that was actually hard. That actually made my career actually harder, because now I have to show them like women's boxing has evolved.
Right,
Right. I
right.
got 2 Olympic gold medals. I can really fight. You know,
Yeah.
I went through
I'm
so
excited
much.
to watch. Yeah. Right?
Right. And I went through so much criticism.
Yeah.
From my trash talk, from my looks supposedly. Oh, I was too mean. I looked too strong inside the ring. It was all these different things. And it was like, well, y'all want a champion, don't you?
You're right.
You know,
so you
so-
want someone that's exciting to watch, that you believe in, who can kick
so
ass?
my Olympic story helped me turn pro. Right. I believe that when Layla, when she came along and she came to meet me up in Colorado Springs, I had just did something that was very great. I had beat Mary Spencer. Mary Spencer was 3-time world champion in the amateurs. The world championships don't come around until every 2 years in the amateurs. So for the last 6 years, Mary Spencer was that girl who everybody thought was going to win the Olympics 2012. I fought against her when I was 17 at the Continental Championships. I whooped her ass. After that, everybody was flying out to interview me. It wasn't just Layla that came and put me on whatever platform that she interviewed me on or whatever. And you have to know that I idolize her because she's Muhammad Ali's daughter.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? But I don't think that, I know she's not the reason for any of my success, but do I respect her as a woman who put the world on notice about women's boxing many, many years ago? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I think that she could fight? Absolutely. You can't say that a person who's 24-0 with 21 knockouts can't fight. But when I watch the footage, I'm the better fighter. But that's because women's boxing has changed so much.
Right.
I have so much experience. I had
Well,
over
it's continued to evolve, right?
Yeah, and 78 amateur fights
Yeah.
compared to her 0.
Right.
So it's like I went all over the world and fought. Like not just
Experience.
experience
Yeah.
matters, and I fought girls who are way bigger, way stronger, and way faster than Layla Ali. But that doesn't. There's no disrespect to her.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
but I don't think the fight's ever gonna
So
happen.
we don't need to talk about it anymore.
No, we don't need to talk about it. And I wish she would just go and be happily retired, right? Enjoy her cooking shows and sell her spices and stuff, and have fun. And listen, I'll do all the fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, you can watch the fights or not watch them.
Sure.
One viewer does not hurt the viewership. And listen, I will continue to take us to the next level. That's why I'm signing this big deal, $8 million. Biggest deal in women's boxing. You know, finally the GWOAT gets paid. All this hard
There you
work
go.
and all this trash
There you
talk.
go.
The GWOAT gets paid. Show me the money.
Pay the quote. Who is what boxer has inspired you the most? Like, is there anybody you emulate or take from, or
Muhammad
as you
Ali.
were growing up? Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
That is. First time I looked in the mirror and said I'm black and I'm pretty was because I watched Will Smith play Muhammad Ali, and I thought Will Smith was really Muhammad Ali at that age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
He
tricked
did
the
a
mess
great
out of me.
job.
He did
I mean,
a great
he
job.
Did a great job.
Listen, I watched that movie. I don't think I realized till I was older because I didn't watch a whole lot of TV. But you know, Will Smith is in so many movies,
Yeah.
and as I'm seeing these movies, I'm like, why is Muhammad Ali in movies?
I didn't know he was an actor.
I'm so confused. But then it hit me like, oh, dummy, he played Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is a totally different person.
Well, I mean, that means he did a really great job.
He
yeah.
did great.
Yeah.
But I have followed the whole Muhammad Ali story. I had read books on him. I watched movies on him. Just very inspiring.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh man,
Human being.
great
Yeah.
human being, and just he stood for something.
Yeah.
You know, in today's time, people don't stand for nothing no more.
Yeah.
You know, they just fall for anything. I don't even know what to say. I just feel like he put his boxing career on hold for 3 years because he didn't want to go and fight in the war, and he didn't believe in it.
Right.
He chose to believe in his religion. He stood up for black rights. He was an activist.
And he helped people.
Help people. Listen, I went to Muhammad Ali's homegoing in Louisville, Kentucky. And when I tell you the atmosphere in the city, it's like the whole city shut down and everybody would just celebrate Muhammad Ali. And I remember being like so emotional. And we went to Muhammad Ali's old house. I believe he has a street there or something like that. It's like a big old, it's a mural that's like in stone. And I remember everybody you can think of has a picture with Muhammad Ali. Everybody had one. Oh, Muhammad Ali, this is him holding me when I was a kid. Oh, this is Muhammad Ali when I was 15, when I was 10. Like, he never told a fan no for a picture.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I have a picture with Muhammad Ali. Right? And I was able to meet him.
Actually, I've seen it.
Yeah, just
I mean, just,
probably recently.
yeah.
But those things there are like, you don't meet people like that. And just what he stood for, the way that he talked back then, when it was, hey, you couldn't talk like that being a black man. He wasn't scared of nobody.
No.
And he
Or
wasn't
if he
scared
was,
of-
he didn't show it.
I don't think he was scared
You
of
don't think so?
nobody.
Yeah.
No. And just like the way he rhymed too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There was nobody like him.
No,
he
just the way
could
that-
trash talk like nobody's business.
Trash talk and just his way of putting it. You know, he'd be like, I'm so fast I cut the lights off and I was in the bed before it was dark.
And funny. He was funny too.
He is very
yeah,
funny.
he was so quick.
So I think Muhammad Ali was one of my fighters who I looked up to. Andre Ward, just a man of his word. You know, son of God was his nickname, and that's truly what he is. He's a son of God. He just never changed himself. Like, not even to get the big bags in boxing. He didn't go outside of his character to be somebody who they wanted him to be. He retired on his own terms, undefeated. And I don't know, he's just been like he's the last man to win a Olympic gold medal for the U.S. in boxing. And that's Andre Ward.
Wow.
So after him, it was me, right? And I just remember I turned pro, and I think probably like my third or fourth fight. And I mean, I was trash talking. I was telling these girls how I felt about them because they was definitely trying it. And I remember him calling me like, "Hey sis, I'm just calling to check on you. You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." He was like, "Hey, I've been seeing your interviews. You promoting these fights." He was like, "Listen, don't let them force you to be that way if that's not who you are." And I was like, "What you mean?" And he was like, "If you don't want to trash talk, you ain't got to." I said, "No, that's me."
Yeah, that's all me.
He like, "Oh, for real?" I'm like, "Yeah, ain't nobody telling me nothing." So
No, they're telling me not to trash talk.
exactly.
Yeah.
They told me to tone it down, right? And I remember that phone call like it was yesterday. And I just remember laughing like, "Nah, ain't nobody forced me to do nothing. Can't nobody really force
Did
me
he
to do
laugh
anything."
too?
He laughed because he thought that I was being pressured.
Right,
like, "Oh,
right,
like,
yeah.
you like you got to do this." And I was like, "Nah."
No.
These girls need to get talked to like that. These women are crazy. And then he was like, "Oh, well, if that's you, then power to you. Go ahead.
Right.
Keep,
Go for it. Go for it.
Keep doing it." And I just remember that phone call because he just really wanted me to protect, who I was and keep my authenticity and keep my rawness. And he like, and if they're trying to make you be a certain way and that's not you, I'm here to support you and let you know, go back to being how you were and don't let them pressure you. In which that talk actually helped me get to where I am now. And I say that to say that I am completely myself,
Yeah.
right? And I don't try to conform to what everybody think is it or in, how they dress, how they talk, how they wear their hair.
Right.
That don't matter to me. I want to be completely myself. And that phone call from him let me know to just do that. Like, don't
It gave
try
you
to
the permission
fit
to
in.
do that.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
just be yourself and don't make them let you be different because they've always said, "Oh, you should wear, heels and you should wear this type of hair and wear that type of hair and this makeup and that makeup." And at that age of 21, being a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, nobody cares about makeup.
Right.
Nobody cares about hair. We care about who worked the hardest, who run the hardest, who sweat the most, who's in shape, who win the most tournaments. So turning pro was a whole different light of things. And I've been able to balance it, but on my own terms. Up at first, I have put on some wigs and some clothes that others had told me to put on. And I'm like, I had no business doing that.
Are there pictures?
Yes, it looks terrible. You know what? I'm gonna have to send y'all the picture. It's a picture with me walking out with Shakur Stevenson. He was fighting in, I think, LA. And I came with this really curly wig, stupid pink dress.
And it was just not you.
I look at that picture and be like, oh.
I think we all do that at different times. So.
I know you looked in the mirror and you like, and you seen
I
it
look
and was
good.
like, this is not. No, I had to look in the mirror and say, this not it.
This is no,
'Cause
but I'm going with it.
And then I wore it out, and the pictures was everywhere for one.
Oh, God.
And I just was like, never doing that again. But I had to come to support Shakur, and I was just like trying out all these different hairstyles because they're like, oh, this is what is in. This is what girls are wearing. And I wore it. This stupid, I think it was a stupid sewing or a wig. I can't even remember. It was just terrible. And I've also got some makeup that I'm like, yo. I was better off going bareface.
Well, I was going to ask, I think I read or I heard that you will come out for an entrance made up.
Yeah.
But before the fight, you go back, you wash it off, and you want to fight.
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to look a certain way during the fight because you prove yourself in that ring.
Yeah, listen, the entertainment part of it, right? I've been trying to, I have mastered them. I've mastered the beauty and the beast. So I show up to the fight. I got my makeup on, my lashes, my hair. I got the nice dress on with the shoes. I pull up in the Benz Wait, we pull up in a Rolls Royce. Sorry, Rolls Royce. My bad. And I get out and I walk, and I think my last fight I gave a tribute to Beyonce. You know, I wore the pink glove with the pink sparkly dress with the slit in it, with the little silver shoes.
We need to see that picture too.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very cute, very demure. And but when I get back to the dressing room, give me the makeup wipes. Wipe it off, all of it. Yeah, let's get this wig off. I got my braids under there.
Yeah.
They already braided and ready. Last fight, my braids were not braided.
You're not happy about that.
So, the braids that were braided were not the braids for the fight.
Okay.
So I took the wig off, and my hairstylist, Beatty, who's also my assistant, had to take down my real hair, comb out my real hair, and then we braid my hair in the back. I don't think she finished braiding my hair till 10, 20 minutes before the actual fight, before I had to walk out. I probably had like 5 minutes to warm up after she finished braiding my hair.
Did that affect your head game at all?
No, but I just was like, I would rather have my hair braided before I get to the back.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my hair braided in the back room. I don't think I would ever do that again. Like, do it in a room or at the hotel. But the reason it didn't get done at the hotel, I was really tired the whole week promoting this fight, going to all these different events. I had a music listening party. I did the run with Detroit. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There she is.
Uh-huh.
Me and my man.
Oh, the gloves too.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Now you got to pull up Beyonce picture.
That was worth it for
Yeah,
what
it
you went
was.
through that night.
So that was Beyonce Renaissance 2000. Beyonce Renaissance 2000. I don't want to get the date wrong,
Yeah, that's all right.
but you'll be able to find it. Beyonce
Yeah.
Renaissance. It's gonna come up. Yeah, she got a pink dress, pink glove. Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Love Beyonce.
I love that you did the
She got to walk
tribute.
me out.
Yeah?
Ooh.
She hasn't.
She hasn't yet.
No, she
No.
needs to.
She needs to.
Yeah.
Like, she walked me out. I'll probably never box again.
We've been trying to get her to do something with us for a long time, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
Honey child.
uh-huh.
Queen B.
Queen Bee. Yep.
You see,
Everybody
my
just
dress
had to
was
stop.
exactly the
The
same.
same. Yeah.
Exactly the same. The two slits on the side.
Yeah, I was thinking just one slit, but no. Did you do this?
Nah, if Lord knows, I would have tried had I seen this video.
You need the fan, you know, the whole
Always
thing.
need the fan.
Yeah. Blowing your hair while you walk by. Yeah.
Just I could dance a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I came out to
We know
Beyonce.
you can rap.
Hey,
Just saying.
never know. I mean, I'm working on my rapping, but my rapping is not great as my boxing. So tune into my
Well,
boxing.
it takes time.
It takes time, and I've
Takes
been
time.
working, but it's just like you really have to like master that. Thank God I got Pap. He's like a rap legend.
So how did you meet Pap?
Me and Papoose met at Shakur Stevenson fight July 6th in
Was that the night of the outfit?
which outfit?
The one that you just said you'd never do again?
No.
Oh.
God, no.
I thought that was the night.
But I did have on pink. I love my hair this day, actually.
Okay,
I had on pink. I had on some shorts. And around this time, Shakur was getting a whole lot of slack about his boxing. They were talking about he wasn't a good fighter, but Shakur is actually one of the greats who's gonna go down in history as one of the best men fighters ever. Literally, like, in my opinion. I believe he'll be pound number one within the next 4 years. Like, Shakur is really great at boxing. But no, Shakur was having, and they were kind of like talking about him or whatever. And I remember me reaching out like, hey, I might come to your fight. He like, please come. Like, I need you to come. I need you to be there. And him saying that, I said,
I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in. So I was fighting 2 weeks later. Usually in camp, I don't travel nowhere. But for Shakur, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and show up. And then there's where I met Pap. He walked to me and said, hey, my name is Papoose. He shook my hand. And I was like, okay. He told me he was a fan. He watched me fight the Olympics and stuff. We took us a picture. It's like, you know how you know somebody, but you don't know them? So I had heard of him a little bit, but I didn't know the depth of him.
Right.
Like, I didn't know, like, he was like a great MC and up in rap, and I didn't know like he could rap the alphabet and can rap your name and all this stuff. Like I didn't know that.
Right.
I just knew when he said his name, I'm like, okay, cool. And we took a picture, and I invited him to my fight because I was fighting 2 weeks later. And you always want to have celebrities in the building when you're,
Of course.
when you're fighting.
Yeah.
But it was like, I definitely took a liking to him. I thought he was a good looking man, right? But we started off as just like friends. We were texting a lot. I don't think we talked on the phone till about a month and a half of us just texting.
Okay. So he did come to the fight, but
Yes.
then there wasn't. You still just kept texting and staying in
Yeah,
touch.
yeah, we were texting. We were, I would say, really good friends. I liked the way that we kind of started sending music back and forth because I wasn't really like big on my music because I had stuff like in my phone. I hadn't released any music like that much. But I told him like, oh, I rap a little bit too. And he like, well, I rap and I, did 12 albums in 1 year. And I was like, what? And they're all named after a month. So Papoose January, Papoose March,
That's amazing.
February, March, April. And so I started listening to his music and just putting Papoose in my phone and Apple. And when I tell you so many songs popped up, features, all this stuff, I'm like, yo, this dude really into music and he's really good.
Yeah, he is.
Right. So I sent him my stuff, which was mediocre. And
You're just starting.
yeah, listen, very mediocre. And I remember him sending me like footage of him like he boxes at the gym.
Oh.
Him hitting the pads, him punching the bag, and him. I was doing a speed bag and jumping rope, and I was like, oh, you're in the boxing, like you're into it, and that was another connection, like not just the music and the poetry, but then also now we got the boxing, and he just invited me out to a date. I came to New York. We went on a date. And
Rest is history.
Yeah, we've been locked in ever since. Like he's my best friend and he's my man too. So
That's congratulations.
thank you.
That's beautiful.
He's a different type of man though. It takes a lot to handle the globe.
I can't imagine.
I'm a full blown headache. You over there laughing, yeah.
I was gonna say how cute he was smiling at you that whole time, and you said it, and he just lost it. He's like, "Yeah, that's true."
Listen, I know I'm hard to deal with, so I definitely praise him for, dealing with the greatest woman of all time.
It
It's
can't be
not
easy.
easy.
Can't be easy.
No, especially if I get mad, I'll
Oh, yeah.
give him a little look.
Oh. He just backs right down.
You're right.
No,
No?
what? The total opposite. Because he can
gives
fight.
it back.
He think he can fight too, right?
Right.
No,
He's a Golden Gloves champion.
It's so good.
that's a real good one. No, he's a real man. So real men can deal with alpha women.
That's true.
So when you're and people like, what is an alpha woman? I hate those guys. Like it's a woman who's very strong.
Yeah.
It's okay. And when you're an alpha woman, you have to have an alpha man. So he don't agree with everything I say. He's stern about certain things too. Very like high on like respect, how we speak to each other, how we communicate.
That's important.
Like we talk every day. We haven't missed a day of talking to each other since, I don't know, I want to say like July. I want to say too early of a date. we haven't missed a day of like knowing what each other was doing or like texting or whatever the case since like March, April, May, June, July, like early August. And that was last year. Last year. Like, haven't missed a day. Like, if we're not together, we're on the phone talking. If we're not talking, we're texting.
Right.
It's like we're always in each other's lives somehow. And if we're not texting, we're sending each other reels back and forth, which is
Yeah.
very romantic.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I communicate
I'm too old.
most days.
I mean, Triple H probably not on his phone that much.
Well, he is, but we're not doing reels though.
What are you?
Reels
doing?
are funny.
But we're in touch every day.
Okay.
And he's on the road all the time, and he's a real man too. I know what you mean.
Well, he has to be a real man to deal with a real woman.
That's
'Cause
true.
the first that I met Steph, she was just, you could just tell, you're like so like secure, powerful, strong. It's like, yeah, I know I'm a bad bitch and what? I'm strong too.
I'm in the presence of a bad bitch. So. Well, there's nobody like you, Claressa. I mean, I'm so excited to have you here and as a part of this podcast, and so excited to help share your story.
Yes, thank you.
And to help promote your fights and your music and anything that you're doing. You have our full support.
Thank you so
I
much.
mean, and just, I love who you are and what you stand for. Like when you're talking about the fighters who've inspired you, you're not really talking about them technically. You're talking about their character.
Yeah, that's what matters.
And that's what matters. And that's what I feel so much from you. And for you to have gone through so much and to be who you are, sitting here, you know, take it or leave it. This is who I am, and I'm taking over the world, and it's amazing, and it's a privilege. So
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy that y'all had me here. We got some good laughs.
We did. We
got a couple tears out of me. I should have went on the porch. This is great. But I'm fighting January 24th.
State Farm Arena.
State Farm Arena. Baby, how many thousands people gonna be there? 22,000 people. Listen, we need butts and seats. If you love the GWOAT, you want to see me
We
get
love the
down
GWOAT.
Want to
We
see me get
gotta
down
show
in
up and
action?
support.
Yeah, show up and
Yes.
support. Bring your cousins, your uncles, your aunties,
Everybody,
boyfriends, girlfriends. Come on.
come on.
Yeah.
The whole entourage. Yeah.
You are going to get a show. You're going to get entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get boxing because I'm going to give you a great show. And you're going to get music. You never know who I might walk out with. You never know.
Never know, Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Hey. Hey, I like how y'all was in unison.
Yes.
Right there.
Trying to make it louder.
Yeah, because we all love Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever say that they don't love Beyonce, they got a real problem?
I think so too.
lying.
It's like, how could you not like Beyonce? She don't respond to nothing.
She's
No
just-
rumors.
She's the boss.
She can sing, she
Yeah.
can dance, she can rap.
I mean, and she's sexy as hell.
Look
she's
what?
brilliant. She's everything.
She's
Beyonce
the
is
queen.
everything. She's queen bee.
Queen Bee. That's right. But
We
she's
love you,
not the
Beyonce.
GWOAT.
No, she's not.
She's
but
not the GWOAT.
if she ever wants to learn how to box, I'm who you come to.
That's right.
I teach you.
There you go.
Teach me how to do some of them dance moves.
Because she needs those for her music videos.
Exactly.
Yes.
For her
I'm
next,
right with you.
her next
Yes. Listen, when I beat Savannah Marshall, I came out dancing on that hoe.
There we go. There we go.
I came out dancing on that
You
ass.
dance over her when she's down. Oh,
I did though. You gotta look it up. It was a video. I came out there.
I love it. I love it.
Head up, let me see, head up. All across the world, we gonna tear it up. I'm telling you, I came out dancing on her ass. And then we got in there and we rumbled.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. Well, January 24th, we're there.
Yes, January
and congratulations
24th.
again on the huge announcement.
Thank you so much. I've $8 million deal, Salida and Win Records together. I think I'm very, very fortunate in still being a trailblazer and a pioneer in women's boxing. And hopefully, when I'm done boxing, the girls coming up behind me will have it easier. They'll be able to get to $1 million way faster than I got there. And I think boxing will be in a better place. We'll be hearing about a girl signing for a $20 million, a $50 million deal.
Love
you
that.
know.
Love that.
But $8 million is a great start.
Yes, it is.
Damn good
Great
start.
start. Thank you, Salida and Win,
All right.
my people.